Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
Whew. Wow. Talk about emotions running high, and I bawled like a fucking baby, man. Welcome, y'all. This is the New World Podcast, brother. And we are covering AEW Dynamite in Lexington, Kentucky. Taz, Tony, Excalibur on commentary till the end of the show. Oh my gosh, emotions running high all the way down to the main event. You know, we lost Jay Briscoe last week, and it's been hard in the wrestling community, but his legacy will forever live on. And that's what this show, especially in the end, man, like it really just got me. And well, we start the show off with Chris Jericho and Sammy versus Ricky Starks and Action and Andretti in a great tag team match with the JAS, keep saying the Juggalo. The Jericho Appreciation Society got the win though, just because Garcia with the assist with the bat. This was a fun tag team match, a fun way to start the show and building this feud and everything like that. And I love Ricky Starks' music. I love the pose, and I love how his music is like when he throws his hands up, it's like you know, Ricky Starks is a true star, man. He is. We had a Jay Briscoe package, and it brought me to tears at first. You know, I was just like, damn, you know, it's crazy, man. You can just hold on to your loved ones, man. To text and tell them you love them, you know, just anything, because you never know. You know, I don't want to put that bad juju out there for anybody, but you just never know, you know. And I've had loss last year, and it's crazy to have such things happen, especially in the wrestling community. And I explained it last week on AEW Dynamite. Like, the community is so tight, and well, it still is. You know, it is what it is, but it's a tight community, especially when it comes to these sort of losses inside professional wrestling. And I'm glad that we got to celebrate Jay Briscoe's life, you know, tonight. Last week's show, you could just tell emotions were high, wearing the armbands, and, you know, all the way spread across to the love from WWE and his birthday, you know, it being his birthday and everything for the show and everything. Like, you know, it's just so crazy, man. And the package hit me right in the heart. TNT Championship match, Darby Allin with Sting versus Buddy Matthews. Buddy's looking good. That boy's cut. Like, he's looking great. Great match. I had a lot of fun with this one. Darby Allin is awesome, and I can't wait until Joe in his rematch next week on AEW Dynamite. And I love when Joe comes on the screen after Darby Allin wins. Little dead boy. Joe just has such great, you know, he's so good on the mic, but he says the king of television is coming back. The king is here to reclaim what Darby Allin has stolen. We get a nice little look at Adam Cole package now that he's back, you know, his gain to recovery. And it's kind of interesting that we got Adam Cole coming back in a strong way in these video packages, and then we have Cody Rhodes' packages coming in. So and I'm not saying anything like, oh my gosh, they're trying to copy, but I just think it's kind of cool that we got two super talented wrestlers coming back to the squared circle. We had Jungle Hook. You know, I thought Warjo was bad as a tag team name, but Jungle Hook, you know, I guess, sure, Jungle Boy and Hook, they team up versus Ethan Page and Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy comes out with the music, you know, and then Ethan Page cuts him off. Fucking Ethan has such a comedic timing, yeah, on that mic, man. I was laughing. He was like, "Hey, cut the music. This is my music. You know, you need to understand." And I love Stokely. You know, Stokey's little bald head just shines in my eyes. he's so fucking funny, man. He's just got those great facial expressions and everything like that. We go to Family Therapy, and I thought they were gonna play this in the ring. I'm kind of glad they didn't, you know, because This seems more of a backstage type thing, but it was the Acclaim and the Guns with Daddy Ass, with the therapist there asking what's the issues and this and that. And the Guns are like, yo, you abandoned us. You took the Acclaim. You adopted them. The Acclaim's like, oh, fuck you, you know. But the Guns told them what they wanted. What would resolve the issues in this family debacle is the AEW Tag Team Championship. So I'm guessing we're building that to Revolution coming up in a couple months, I believe in March. Yeah. So I'm wondering if that's going to be the big one for the Acclaimed and the Guns. More build. Oh wait, Hangman Page. Sorry, my notes. Hangman Page with Renee in the back. Wheeler Yuta interrupting. They're going to have a match on Rampage. But we're getting Mox Page 3 next week, and Hangman says he's going to knock his ass out. This is what's going to happen, and I know that's going to be a physical confrontation like the last one. The last match was great, so I can't wait. The third one, Page got one, Mox got one. This is the rubber match, baby. Who's going to take it all? Who's going to take the entire cake, and who's going to knock out who? Bryan Danielson versus Brian Cage. Bryan Danielson for the win. I saw that coming. But it was more or less, the match itself was fine. It was more or less what has to happen afterwards. MJF comes out. He's pissed, you know. He paid Brian Cage to take out Bryan Danielson. And they try to break his arm, and they're doing everything. And they, you know, and, you know, it's definitely just the storytelling of, like, he ain't going to make it to Revolution. You know, Takeshita came out. He came out for the save to save Bryan Danielson, but the damage was done. MJF runs away, and I love the way MJF runs away. He's just like, oh, no, he ain't getting my shit. No way, no how, boy. He's like, I'm out. Tony Storm versus Ruby Soho. This match was interesting. I Ruby Soho for the win, but I was like, what's the Britt Baker assist here? Like, what? When she came out, and I was like, huh, okay. And then Ruby Soho went. Maybe a potential team up, maybe, you know, Tony Storm and I believe Saraya, I think they're going for that heel faction type thing just because of the last week's actions and stuff like that. But I don't know, we shall see. You know, it was kind of interesting. Ruby's like looking off, and the commentator's like, what's going on? Why did Britt Baker DMD come out here? But my boy MJF, he's better than me. He's better than you, and you should know it. This line, I wrote it down specifically just because I was like, God damn, MJF. He's in the back. He's sitting on a chair. He's like, sorry for being in the dark room, but people can't control themselves, their emotions. Not the first Jew to hide from a man with blue eyes. I was like, man. What a fucking line to say, especially on television. And I don't know how MJF, like, I wonder if he's writing these things down. Like, he just has a notebook full of his quips and stuff like that, because this man is on the mic and he just goes. And that line, not the first Jew to hide from a man with blue eyes, towards the dragon, Bryan Danielson, you know, he's told him, like, hey, you know, you still have a ways to go to survive, to even get us, me and you, in a 1 hour Iron Man match. You know, you still have a ways to go, Dragon. And he says, next week you're gonna face Timothy Thatcher. You know, and that's gonna be fun. You know, Timothy Thatcher, he's a monster. And like I was like, oh, you know, and I like this. It showcases a lot of wrestlers around the world, especially with his run with Bryan Danielson. You know, we're seeing some technician type styles and stuff. And they had an update backstage with Bryan, and he was back there. He was holding his arm, and the doctor, I don't know if what the doctor said was a real thing. That's my thing. I don't know. Like, he said, because Renee's like, oh, how's it look? And he's like, he's a dubla oblongata baba dubu, like, it's broken. You know, oh, it's hurt. It's semi-hurt. And the doctor kind of stumbled there for a little bit, and that kind of made me laugh, just because then Bryan's like, oh, I don't care what that thing you said is kind of hurt. You didn't say it was fully hurt, so I can still wrestle, you know. And Bryan pulls a great passionate promo, and he's like, I'm gonna wrestle. No one can tell me I can't wrestle. So, you know, I'm gonna wrestle with his little beard. And I'm thinking, like, ooh, it's gonna be a showdown between those two once we finally get to that pay-per-view, and I'm excited. Now, The main event, Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal. Emotions right off the back, especially when Jay comes out. You can just see it in his face. You know, he's a little teary-eyed, and he's trying to hold it in. He's trying to just keep his composure, and you can just tell that it's just eating at him because, you know, he lost a friend and stuff like that, a brother. But in good fashion, Mark comes out as Mark, hyping up the crowd, he's doing his stuff, and man, how much fun Mark is in the ring, and I can see that he pulled it out of the Jay Lethal. And this match was not more or not less who's gonna win. You know, we of course want Mark Briscoe to win, which he does, but it's more or less a tribute to Jay in so many ways, and just because in professional wrestling, the show goes on. No matter what, you know, it's just that type of business. You know, so many losses over the years in this sport, and yeah, you know, the mentality these wrestlers have of the show must go on. You know, we move on to the next town, we move on to the next show, we keep wrestling, we do what we got to do. This is the business, you know, the business aspect of it. But with this, it was just a good tribute, and you know, God bless Jay's family and his daughters and all them recovering emotionally, physically, you know. And Mark brought it to Jay, and when Jay kind of snapped back into it, they had a heck of a match, man. Great table spot. It like emotions were just running high, and I can just tell Jay's like he's doing everything he can to keep that crowd alive, and everyone's chanting Mark's name and the Briscoe last name, and it's just a back and forth fun match, man. And after Mark wins, he looks into the camera, you know, he says his stuff, and that's where I started crying. And then I knew Jay kind of burst into tears too, and what was cool, in full effect, Ring of Honor was on deck, man. Ring of Honor was there to represent. They even had the code of honor, but when they shook hands and stuff like that, and it was in all my emotions with that company itself, Ring of Honor, and how it plays into my past of just how much I used to just dive deep in the Ring of Honor material, you know, when I found Ring of Honor and stuff like that, and all the tapes and seeing the Briscoe brothers, it just brought back so many emotions. So seeing Ring of Honor on deck was really cool, especially for the main event. And the thing that really broke me, man, really broke me, was when the whole entire locker room comes out and they're all there, and Jay's picture comes up, you know, and everyone's rocking the Jay Briscoe t-shirt, the tribute shirt. You can get it now. They say you can get it on honorshop.com, or I looked it up. I went to Shop AEW, but all the proceeds goes to Jay's family, which is really cool, because you know, they need anything and everything, especially with his loss, huge loss. Because yeah. I'm trying not to cry. Already bawled like a baby. I'm the only one here in the house right now, so I'm just trying to keep my emotions in check. But hell of a show. I give this show a solid 5 out of 5. I had a lot of fun, and it was, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I got some feedback from the Raw is 30 episode, and people were like, man, you just shat all over Raw is 30 and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, because it was disappointing, but walking into this, I didn't know what to expect. I think that's the thing and beauty about AEW. Even though we know the cards in advance and they have really great, this is what's going to happen, this is going to do this, you don't expect going in. Yeah, am I saying AEW is perfect in any sense or any nature? No. I didn't know, you know, but there is shows that just really captivate and bring out that hardcore professional wrestling fan. Like the dude that the guy that was in the ring once in his life. I'm not saying I'm a professional wrestler, but I got in the ring once and I felt the bumps. I felt the grind, and, you know, getting in there and going for the win. I held a championship. I understand, and that's what AEW brings out in me. My love, my passion for professional wrestling. And this show was definitely one of those ones in the history of Ring of Honor itself, you know. and being on deck and represented in such a big way. I'm sad that we had to, lose somebody that was very important to Ring of Honor in that history, the Briscoe brothers. And now it's another journey for Mark, and I feel for Mark, man. That's his brother. Like, he came out and he's trying to keep his composure, but I could tell there's a little bit in his eyes, holding those championships by himself, holding them up and knowing that his family's hurting right now. But this was about celebration of Jay Briscoe and his life. The show goes on. Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal is such a great match and such a great finish with the locker room coming out, man. That was solid 5 out of 5 for the show, man. I didn't know what I was walking into, and this show just took me, and I was just watching oohs and ahs, these spots, and I just had a fucking good time, man. A really good time. So shout out to Jay Briscoe and his family. R.I.P. Jay Briscoe. Much love, much respect, and shout out to everybody out there. Time is short. Just nothing but love, nothing but respect from me here, Mr. KMB, the Sexy Ninja. Nothing but respect and love here on out. Always. Never stops. Let me know what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. And I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And as always, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Gannon, keep your heads up. Love y'all. Jamin, boy, love you, baby.